Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another true crime video yet again, and today we will be talking about the gruesome murder of Jose Amaya Guardado. Jose Amaya Guardado was born in 1998 in El Salvador to his parents Santos and Lucia. In 2006, when Jose was 8 years old, his parents, and his siblings escaped El Salvador before settling in Miami, Florida. And as much as they loved their home country, Santos and Lucia felt like it wasn't a safe environment to raise their kids in because of the extremely high crime rate. Growing up, Jose was very shy and quiet, and he often kept to himself. However, he was very vocal with his passion regarding cars and dreamt of becoming a mechanic one day. Now, seeing how much Jose wanted this, his father Santos enrolled him at the Homestead Job Corps Center, which was a free educational and vocational training program run by the U.S. Department of Labor. This center was also a live-in program for at-risk youth who are trying to rehabilitate or better themselves. In 2015, when Jose was 17 years old, he moved into this center. He was assigned to stay in a room with an older kid, 20-year-old Kahim Arbelo, who was well known in the center as someone who caused a lot of trouble. Little by little, Jose started to open up and began making friends. However, unbeknownst to his family, these new friends are bad news and came from very troubled pasts. As I have mentioned, some of the kids living in this center were at-risk youth, and the staff failed to disclose this to Lucia and Santos. So all the while, they thought that Jose would be safe and happy living in the center. However, we all know by now that that was not the case at all. During the weekdays, Jose would stay at the center to learn everything about his passion. But during the weekends, he would sell ice cream at the local market in an attempt to help his parents out with the expenses. Now, he was a really hard worker and he saved as much as he could. However, all of his efforts would be put to waste because his roommate Kahim would usually steal all of his money. Kahim Arbelo, as I have mentioned, was 20 years old at the time. He was a well-known criminal, a narcotics dealer. Him and his posse were known bullies, and other kids were scared of ever crossing them. Now, in June 28th, 2015, Jose asked for permission to go out and to buy some food. Staff told him to go ahead and be quick. However, by 6 p.m., Jose had not returned yet. Concerned, the staff members decided to call his parents to check if Jose had come home to see them, but he did not. This was very odd behavior for Jose, so his parents wasted no time and reported him as missing right away. However, the police did not cooperate, saying that Jose was a 17-year-old guy and he could only be officially reported as missing after 72 full hours. Disappointed, his parents and his older brother Fredis decided to look for him themselves. Now, they talked to the staff members of the center, and all they said was that he headed out to buy snacks and never returned. Because of this, the family started looking for him at local shops and groceries, but to no avail. 2 days after his disappearance, they decided to take a look at the wooded area surrounding the center. And this is when Fredis, Jose's older brother, saw a large burned patch of grass. Now, as soon as he saw this, he immediately had a terrible feeling. So he started to dig around this area. Not long after, he saw 2 feet facing down and immediately broke down, recognizing Jose's socks. Now, the police were called to the scene immediately, and along with them came the forensic team, who wasted no time in examining Jose's body, which was now severely decomposed due to the elements. The investigators also took note of the surrounding areas. There were trees with slash marks on them. They also found remnants of Jose's as well as the perpetrator's burned clothing. Now, along with this, they also found a glove and a green lighter, which was most probably used to burn the pieces of garments in an attempt to get rid of DNA evidence. Upon autopsy, it was revealed that Jose was hacked multiple times with a machete, or here in the Philippines, we call it a machete. Yeah, a machete. And was still alive when he was buried. So this poor boy, went through so much before he took his last breath. The very next day, Jose's roommate, 20-year-old Kahim Arbelo, was arrested, and not long after this, his friends and his girlfriends were also apprehended and taken into custody. These were Jonathan Lucas, Christian Colon, Joseph Michael Cabrera, and Desiree Strickland, all ranging from the ages of 18 to 20. So all of them were older than Jose because he was 17. Now, this group of people were arrested because of suspicion of involvement, as Kahim was Jose's roommate, and everyone knew that him and his gang were bad news. There were also rumors going around that Kahim was extremely angry because allegedly Jose owed him money for narcotics. Again, this was a rumor and was never confirmed to be true, but if it were, I can't believe that Kahim had the audacity to use this against Jose when he was the one who had been stealing money from Jose all this time. Kahim and Jonathan's hands were also examined for injuries that they had been the ones to use the machete on Jose. Now, not long after their arrest, Kahim Arbelo, Jonathan Lucas, and Christian Colon all confessed to the gruesome crime. According to them, they planned this whole ordeal for 2 weeks, hiding weapons in the woods and digging a shallow grave prior to everything. They had then lured Jose into the woods and started to beat him up before Kahim started hacking at Jose's face with a machete until it caved in. That's how many blows Jose received, and that's how gruesome this attack was. Now, according to them, Hakim's girlfriend Desiree at the time went a few feet away to pee, and once she came back, she even complained of missing the first few blows. They then forced Jose to lie in this shallow grave, and after this, the 3 boys left, leaving Hakim and Desiree at the scene. Now, these two apparently felt so excited about what they had just done that they had sex right next to Jose before they buried him. They then cleaned the surrounding area and burned the clothes together with Jose's. Now, despite the boys confessing to everything, Desiree tried to keep her innocence. She went ballistic in the interrogation room, screaming her innocence at the investigators. And when left alone, she made numerous attempts to break away from her handcuffs before writing "Go to hell" on the table. She was then charged with first-degree murder and tampering with a body. She was also fined $2,100 for assaulting a police officer and vandalizing the interrogation room. Kahim Arbelo was charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and 4 counts of tampering with a witness or a victim. Jose Michael Cabrera, who was seen as a minor character in this attack, was then offered a plea deal wherein he would be given a sentence of no longer than 10 years if he agreed to testify against his group. However, he turned this offer down and said that he'd rather go down with his friends. Christian Colon made an attempt to enter an insanity plea, saying that he was on drugs at the time and had no idea what he was doing. In 2020, Jonathan Lucas pled guilty to conspiracy to commit murder and was sentenced to 5 years in prison plus 15 years of probation for his involvement. Joseph Michael Cabrera also finally pleaded guilty and received a slightly shorter sentence. On May 2022, Desiree was offered a plea deal as well. She would be sentenced to 15 years if she pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of conspiracy to commit murder. However, she's still maintaining her innocence and says that 15 years is way too long of a sentence for a crime that she is not involved in. However, in September of last year, she finally accepted the plea deal and was sentenced to 15 years. However, she already served 7 years, and that was already counted, which means that this sorry-ass excuse for a human being will be out as early as 2030. Christian Colon and Kahim Arbelo, the ringleader, are still awaiting trial to this day. And as of now, Kahim is the only one still facing the possibility of a death sentence. It has been 8 long years since Jose's murder, and I really hope that Kahim is given a lifelong sentence. For crimes like this, I never wish for the perpetrator to receive the death penalty or capital punishment, no matter how much they deserve it, because to be honest, I think that life imprisonment is far worse, and these criminals definitely deserve to suffer for a very, very long time behind bars. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. As usual, I would love to hear your thoughts on this case, and should there be any other case that you would like for me to cover on this channel, please let me know by leaving a comment. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on my next video.